It was just a couple of weeks ago that Microsoft decided to shake up one of its biggest Xbox offerings in a major way, announcing that Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass were getting price increases, that there was going to be no middle-tier console option anymore that offered day one games. So far, there's been a lot of back and forth on whether or not Microsoft made the right call. Right as people are just getting over the confusion over these new tiers of Game Pass, Microsoft might be getting ready to hit us with yet another tier of Game Pass, one that might be its most controversial of all. What's up, y'all? I'm Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, where we talk about Xbox stuff. We talk the latest news, rumors, games, pretty much anything I want to talk about as long as it's about Xbox in some way. And today we're going to be talking about a couple of things. Starting with the rumored new tier of Game Pass. Now hold up, Ray, didn't they just add a new tier of Game Pass Standard? And also, didn't you just do a video talking about the rumored next tier of Game Pass that's supposed to be an ad-supported tier that's cheaper? Yes, both of those things are true. Windows Central just put up a very interesting article detailing some things that author Jez Corden has heard about the future of Game Pass and cloud gaming specifically. Apparently he's heard, apparently, I've never been on live television before. Apparently he's heard reports that Xbox is exploring a cloud gaming only tier of Game Pass. He said, "I've heard that Microsoft is working towards a cloud-only version of its subscription services that would be cheaper and more approachable to buy than Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. This would be designed around users who simply aren't interested in buying an Xbox console, which could include competing console platforms." He theorizes that this would allow Microsoft to essentially double dip by letting people subscribe to this cloud-only service while also being able to buy games through that cloud service. Kind of like you could with Google Stadia. Now, I say that this kind of thing is controversial because, well, every time something cloud gaming related on Xbox pops up, there's always one thing that seems to jump into everyone's mind. Oh, Xbox wants to replace console gaming with cloud gaming. They want to ditch consoles and go full cloud. I don't know if that's exactly true. Number one, I don't think they have the ability to do that. I mean, my God, they've been working on cloud gaming for a couple of years now. It's still in beta. And even after investing all that money and time into trying to make cloud gaming a thing, putting it on Samsung TVs, putting it on Amazon Fire Sticks, putting it on our phones, the experience at the end of the day is just nowhere near what you would get with a console. And really, the only way they're gonna replace console gaming with cloud gaming is if it's comparable, and it's just not. But remote play is pretty good, y'all. It's weird because I know it's an entirely different thing and delivery system, whatever. My wife started working on a podcast with their friend. It's like all stuff that they're into, like fangirl over. And so they were here in this room where I record, but I was like, I want to keep playing Callisto Protocol. So I took my iPad onto my patio downstairs and I streamed from my Xbox to my iPad. Porch light on, my headphones on, my cats were in and out. It was a vibe, man. It was awesome. And the controller was actually very responsive, which is an experience that I don't always have with cloud gaming, especially when I do it wirelessly. And I would say it looked, not like it would on my Series X, but it still looked pretty damn good, except every couple of minutes, there was like a wave of pixelation. Literally, like an ocean wave just washing over my screen, and things would get slightly pixelated, and then it would be all good. And that's why I'm not entirely out on cloud gaming or remote play, because there are times I'm like, this is pretty damn cool. And then there are other times I'm like, man, this is whack. Jez Corden also brings up a very interesting point in this article. Cloud gaming is expensive. I mean, manufacturing consoles and distributing them, that's pretty expensive too. But although it might be a cheaper alternative to forego a console and buy an Amazon Fire Stick and play Xbox games that way, in theory, the cost to maintain cloud gaming servers just ain't cheap. And knowing that, I'm sure Microsoft would rather have a more balanced approach. We got some people playing on console, and we got people who want to use the cloud if they really want to. But if all, 40 million console users right now decided to only play through cloud, they would probably be screwed. People generally have a negative kind of reaction when they see Xbox and cloud gaming in the same sentence. Every time I talk about it, I sure see a lot of comments that are like, nope, never cloud gaming, fucking hate it. But on the other end, I know for a fact that a Game Pass tier that only offers you cloud gaming is something that people want. I checked out my Twitter the other day, which is something I don't do very often. Sorry guys for people who follow me there. But someone reached out to me and was like, yo, is anyone at all going to talk about how Xbox gatekeeps pretty much, or locks cloud gaming behind the highest tier of Game Pass? Now for me, I don't really mind having cloud gaming be Ultimate exclusive. That's because I'm a dude that uses Game Pass on every single one of the platforms. I use it on console, I use it on PC, and then every now and then I use cloud gaming. But especially with the introduction of the Xbox app on the Amazon Fire Sticks, from a marketing perspective, it doesn't make any sense at all to say this is the cheapest way to enjoy Xbox. But in addition to that, if you want to actually use this thing, you're going to have to subscribe to the most expensive tier of Game Pass that we got. There may not be a lot of people out there who fall into this category, but if you want to play Xbox games exclusively through the cloud,
if you're someone who exclusively plays games through the cloud, seek help.
Then there should be a Game Pass tier that caters to that. Price-wise, I don't know how that would look like. I assume that it would be comparable to what PC Game Pass is right now, 11, 12 bucks. Anything more than that, I think they're asking for a little bit too much. I was really excited about this article because Jez also mentions that the Xbox Game Pass family plan is not entirely dead. They're still sort of experimenting with it, and that is, I'll take it. Honestly, I'll take it, because we were hearing a lot about this. They were testing it in a bunch of different markets, and then all of a sudden they were like, okay, we're done, and they went radio silent. I was like, what the hell happened? Given recent developments, I'm sure that it's not gonna look the same as what we were hearing. When they were testing it, I'm pretty sure it was like 25 bucks for 4 people, and they all had Game Pass Ultimate. Might have even been 20. I'm sure it'd be a lot more expensive now if they decided to roll it out, but in the wake of all of these price increases, and they're taking away day one games from the middle tier, this could be a great opportunity for Xbox to roll out a family plan and say, hey, look, I know things are getting expensive, but here's a way that you can save money so the FTC can leave us the hell alone. I live in a 2 Xbox household. I play on my Series X and my wife plays on the Series S or on the Amazon Fire Stick now. And I've been able to get away with a lot by setting my Series S as my home console. That way my wife has access to my Ultimate benefits and all the digital games that I buy. But it would be way cooler if we were on a family plan. She gets her own Ultimate subscription, and then I get to set my Series X as my home console to avoid any craziness that goes on with the server outages that we've been having. Going forward, it is clear that Xbox has to think outside the box a little bit. I don't know why. Jez Corden also mentions it in his article as well, but there seems to be a limited amount of people globally who are willing to buy a console. It looks like we've already hit that ceiling already. So Xbox has to think outside the box. Okay, how can we grow our company without being entirely reliant on hardware sales? A cloud-only tier of Game Pass may be the answer, or it may not. No one knows for sure what they're gonna do just yet. But it's obvious that we are up for even more Game Pass shakeups in the near future. The most obvious of which is Call of Duty finally coming to Game Pass. Before the month of July is over, will be officially part of the Game Pass library once they put Modern Warfare 3 onto the service. Now, keep in mind that Call of Duty games are only going to be on Game Pass Ultimate. This is the thing that Xbox has been dreaming of, salivating over, just dying for the day that they can finally put a Call of Duty game into the Game Pass library. And depending on how you feel about the situation, it's either a really awesome thing or it's the end of gaming as we know it. You could make the argument that a huge reason why Xbox is shaking up Game Pass so much in the first place is because of Activision Blizzard, more specifically Call of Duty. On the other end, Call of Duty, no matter how you feel about it, is inherently going to boost the value of Game Pass. It's just too popular, it's just too big. This most recent Modern Warfare 3, I know it's not the most beloved Call of Duty in the franchise, and a lot of people had a lot of shit to talk about it when they released it. Oh, the campaign is short. Oh, they're reusing maps and weapons. Oh, this and that. But at the end of the day, it's still sold like crazy, and people still played the crap out of this game. One of the biggest criticisms of Game Pass is people constantly bitching and moaning about how they have no AAA games. And with Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 6 soon to follow, they've pretty much guaranteed that they're at least gonna have one big budget AAA game being added to the library at least once a year. When they add Modern Warfare 3, we're gonna have a little bit of time before they hit us with a price increase. That little window, especially if you are currently a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, these next couple of weeks are really gonna be your opportunity to determine if Game Pass Ultimate is still worth it for you. With Call of Duty officially being on there, you can make the call of like, okay, this is kind of a glimpse into the future. Is it worth it for me? And for the love of God, if you plan on getting Ultimate just to play Call of Duty games, do not, just don't. Because in 3-4 months time, you would have already paid the equivalent of just buying the game and owning it. If you do not plan on playing multiple games as part of your subscription, I'm sorry, I just don't think it's gonna be worth it for you. But it'll be perfect if you are like, okay, I'm an Ultimate subscriber and I haven't really gotten into Call of Duty in the past. My subscription will allow me to try it, see if I like it, and if I don't, I just uninstall and move on with my life. Game Pass Ultimate is also perfect for a dude like me. I don't know what it is, like if it's the TikTok brain rot or something crazy going on as I get older. I have a hard time starting and sticking with a new game. Like if a game doesn't hook me in those first couple of hours, then I'm sorry, I'm out. As you can see in the queue behind me, I had a busy week last week. Flintlock Siege of Dawn, Dungeons of Hinterberg, Throne and Liberty. All of these games were things I saw and I was like, I'm into that. Like, I think I could be into these games. But as I was making my way through them, I was like, Flintlock, I see what they're trying to do. I'm just not really getting into it. Dungeons of Hinterberg, same thing. I'm like, there's some cool stuff going on here, but it's not really grabbing me. Throne and Liberty, again, there's some cool things. You can turn into a bird, you can turn into a wolf. You can join these big PvP battles, guild battles, whatever, but I don't know, something's just not grabbing me, man. And then finally I settled on, I was like, you know what? Let me download Callisto Protocol, see how it is. And I was like, okay, I'm into this. It ain't the best game, and god damn it, the below chapter has me wanting to just do something that I can't say on YouTube. But I'm like, I'm into this. But I think that's an important part of Game Pass. You're not gonna like everything that you try, but there is a very high percentage that you're going to find at least something that you enjoy. Throne and Liberty's not on Game Pass, by the way, sorry. I gotta clarify that before people come at me in the comments. Ultimately, see what I did there? That's gonna be up to you though. 20 bucks a month, $240 a year. That's not cheap. And while I like Game Pass Ultimate, I get a lot of use out of it. Apparently the majority of Game Pass subscribers are Ultimate anyway. I would still highly encourage you over the next couple of weeks before that price increase kicks in to sit down, look within yourself, and determine whether or not Game Pass Ultimate is worth it for you. I'll finish out the video talking about the Wolverine controller that they just released, because what's better than being double cheeked up with the Deadpool controller, doubling down being quadruple cheeked up with this new Wolverine controller. This was genius. This was a genius bit of marketing, a genius collaboration. And I actually saw from this guy I follow on Instagram, he reposted something about the BBL part of the controller. You're able to actually remove it whenever you want to play. So in case you were really worried about winning this controller and using it to play your favorite games, do not worry, because you can remove the giant ass cheeks. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. Ring that little bell to be alerted whenever I post a video so you can stay Xbox ready. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.